Friday night ball game. I can't say enough about the fight of the team. That was back and forth. That's as well as the game can be played. The energy in the stadium, the marching Chiefs, the fans, the Knowles cheers, the K-time, it's how you draw it up. And it's not easy to deliver that result, especially the way the game started. And I will say how well they capitalized on the opportunities they had. Like, that was clearly a tight game the entire time, but they made the most of some of their opportunities. Some of it was self-inflicted a little bit. We walked some guys and hit some guys, and they're in position because of their ability to take advantage. And we did that later in the game. But, in the first part of the game, I thought they won that little tug of war. I thought Jamie was good. There was a lot of decision-making tonight on both sides for us, the pitching and then clearly the offensive stuff and the pinch running and all the other maneuvers. Jamie felt good, and I know Mike and I talked a lot about, was it the sixth inning where he kind of wiggled out of it, and I think that's where we got the 8-5 maybe, double play. And there's discussion, and those are tricky decisions because you know what he's capable of, and we've been more on the conservative side with him for these reasons. Now you're ready to extend if needed, and he said he felt good, so we ran it back out, and then all of a sudden you get the base hit, and Prescott maybe responded. I can't think through everything that happened, but Kinnear, I don't know that maybe the response out of the bullpen was maybe as crisp as you would like it to be. We needed Joe. We rested him, and he was back 100% ready to go. So stuff was good. Just the 0-2 pitch hurt, and I think the walk to following the single when we took Jamie out hurt a little bit. So I can't say enough about the ball game Chase Williams played, and you guys are feeling it. And he's batting left-handed against the lefties and shooting it all over the place. And the way he runs the bases, we've clearly seen it and talked about it. And that was a big steal of third. Nate Smelia, late in the game, he's in there now. We ran through a lot of personnel in that slot in the lineup, and it's neat when a guy that works very hard and quietly goes about his business finds himself, all right, we're leading off the whatever inning that was, and gets a hit off of a really good reliever and then scores the run. And he's a good athlete. Now, you start pinch running in that situation, you're down to now Jackson's catching, you lose your DH, you got a pitcher in the slide, so it can get a little messy, so we just left that one alone. But Max's at-bats, Hankerson's at-bat, fit the ball game Fisher played, the 8-5 double play. Lodis made a couple of those plays look easier than they were. Miles to hang in there and stretch. The caught stealing, Carnes throwing the runner out at a critical time. I think that was the first out of the inning. The defense holds things in check, and we've discussed our team needs to be tough to score on. And other than some of maybe the hit-by-pitch walk stuff that we created for them opportunities, I thought we were still relatively difficult to score on, and that's a really talented team.
It felt like the at-bats in the 9th, 10th, 11th were just relentless, and obviously Malstead's had a really good year to this point and has closed down almost every game he's been in. Just how impressed were you with the way that they battled in those last few?
Couldn't be more proud of the compete there at the end. And we talk about the discipline, and is it the heightened focus? Like Max to lay off I don't know that Malstead had thrown many changeups. Well, all of a sudden Max gets an 0-0 changeup, and I've seen him offer at that, and weird things have happened with that, and he took it. And he's a very smart player. I've told you, and he's an emotional player, smart player. That at-bat huge, didn't hit the home run, and the 8-5. Like, that was a game to throw that ball to third base and not just kind of aimlessly try to throw that to the plate. Brilliant baseball play on his part, huge. And it's hard to bottle up and explain why those at-bats late seemed so dang good, but they did. And you're at home and you have this crowd, and when people wonder if they impact the game, that probably has something to do with it. And the Marching Chiefs and the Knowles cheer and the K time, it all adds up. And that's a benefit of being at home, and it's a benefit of having the best fans in the country.
I think to expand on that, just the elevation of the game itself, but it gives an atmosphere that maybe it's not an everyday thing. At Hauser, it gives it more of an elevated Omaha postseason kind of feel. Do you feel like your team kind of feels like they're meeting moments like this where they rise to the occasion against top quality competition, especially against a really solid bullpen as well in this conference, and they just come through when moments need to be made?
They have done it. I mean, there's no arguing that. Now, I will say, you remember how it ends. There's at-bats in the middle of that thing where we had chances to maybe not get it to extra innings. But the delivery of the result, when your back is really against the wall, they have shown that trait. That's a powerful trait. And did this seem like a postseason Omaha game? Absolutely 100% it did. And it very well could be. You know, you could see these two teams. I mean, it presents super regional competition in this conference. It really does. Every weekend, you're facing somebody that's capable of getting themselves to a regional, that's capable of winning a regional, which then puts you in a super regional. And I feel like this schedule's littered with those teams. This one obviously being one.
You mentioned multiple times this season, guys need to be ready in different situations, different spots. We talked about it, but hey, it comes in against the St. Louis James, it's the 2-hour double. The ability to have that and to get that in such critical situations, how big is it?
It's program changing. And with all of the things that are going on and all of the things I'm thinking of and Mike is thinking of and Ty and Brad are out there, I tell the guys, I try to give you a heads up early enough, but there are moments in this thing when you're trying to make a bullpen preparation decision. It's hard to go find James Hankerson and make sure he's ready to go hit and what the pitching looks like that he's going to face. So I tell him, your preparation, your readiness, you have to think the game and watch the game. And if you get yourself ultimately ready to go and don't hit or don't run the bases or don't win the game, is there really any harm? No. You got yourself really in tune and thinking the game. So that's something I asked them to take ownership in, because I can't hold their hand through their preparation process mentally in the dugout as the rest of this thing is unfolding in front of us. And I thought the guys that went in the game showed that they were ready. And I didn't have much to do with that. And huge moments by those guys, even BJ. Like the run threat, you got one of the fastest football players in the country at second base. It changes how that feels when you're defending.
I know to a certain degree you're always thinking about the totality of the series, Saturday and Sunday game. Was there a moment where went all in on tonight, where it just felt like everything had to be focused on trying to get the win at this point tonight?
Yes. I mean, you're playing that game to win that game. Then the rest of the night and tomorrow, you'll reset and regroup and see, as that boxing match starts, who's available to come in and throw punches for you and what's your bullpen look like. Because you have to try to take full advantage of what's in front of you at the time without putting people in harm's way. You know, we extended Johnny Abraham a little bit, and there's things that you question, but when we look at what they were prepared to throw, nobody went beyond it, and I didn't leave anybody out there thinking we were not going to win. The guys were out there for specific reasons, and I'm not really looking beyond, because quite frankly, I know on the other side, they're going through a little bit of the same thing, right? So you just trust that your Saturday starter is capable of lengthening out and maybe lessening the workload on the back end. So you're playing that game to try to win. I'm not really looking at the series as a whole as that's unfolding. This helps you take care of the rest of it if you can finish this off. And it wasn't easy, but to answer your question, I was trying to play this one to win it, and without putting anybody in some crazy pitch count situation.
You've talked in the past about never coaching a player like with Chase's explosiveness, but also the energy. I mean, there were multiple times coming off the field, he's yelling at the crowd to try to get people fired up and going out to left field.
He's not trying to get them fired up. He's actually doing it. It's fun to watch, and mean, it's fun for me to watch, and I'm not actually here to watch. I'm here to coach the thing, and it is a fun dimension. And those at-bats, like sometimes you feel like it's the funky swings and this and that, and all of a sudden he finds a way to hang in there and spray it around and barrel it. And that's why he was also a draft, because you see the talent and the skill. And he's still learning. Like this is young, and he's played 12 or 13, 14 games for us maybe. So just a passionate, exciting player to have. And there's so much more that he's going to learn how to do. And the stolen base to put us in a position where the runner on third and one out. And I know that Garris is really good. And that fastball's hot and heavy and lively, and he just had a really, really complete game.
And for a guy who hasn't been a regular starter this season because of injuries, just trying to get into the field of play, just the idea of him just like being able to come through and hitting a big time double to jumpstart your ninth inning to really get that comeback to really land up the second. You talked about mental preparation, just you don't have to rely on some guys. Is he one of those guys you don't have to worry about because he hasn't played as many games? He comes through with a 4-hit night, best of the season so far for Chase. Just what can you say about his mental preparation day in and day out, no matter what adversity he's going through?
Well, when you're dealing with somebody that's that passionate about it, like this guy's riding on every pitch. Even when we're playing defense, like he's that in tune with it. So the mentality is right, and then the in-game details and controlling the jumps and the sliding and the leads. Now you start getting into the physicality and the details of how to manage that part of the game and the bunt game, which he's going to get to that. It's coming, but I don't worry about the preparation, and our assistant coaches do absolutely amazing job presenting the correct information to the players. There's a lot of information available now through video, through analytics, through metrics, through heat maps, through all kinds of things. So I think in part our guys look prepared because of how hard the staff works to actually give them the competitive advantage when they're walking out there to perform.
A game like this, Max's performance in a game like this, just is that peanut butter and jelly, a guy with that kind of just mentality coming up with the hits that he did, the 8-5 put out and talked about.
He's a smart player. Like he's thinking the game, and he's always thinking of how he's being pitched and what to look for and what to do defensively. And it doesn't always show up. Like you saw it today, and that was. Let's just check the physical capability box for these athletes. They have it. Now it's how do you apply the mental side of the game in the moment to actually perform and produce and function and help a team win. And he's got that. And he's continuing to grow and get better, and there's just so much more in there. But those moments, I think it was Wake Forest in this to win the game on hanging in there against good left-handed arms. Like these are good arms, and to shoot the ball with that kind of velocity the other way, and the thinking through the home run that he hit and the defensive play, he knows what he's trying to do, and he's emotional, and he wants to win, and he wants to succeed. So we see all of that on display when he's out there.
Feels like Cal's trending up. He had 3 hits again tonight in the homer. Just what have you seen from his at-bats recently?
A little more crisp and clean to the ball. And the guy works hard. You've sat through all of our scrimmages, and you see some of the things that he's capable of doing. You see it. And it's just still a little new. He played a little bit last year, but he's still early on in this. That's what he's capable of doing. Shooting balls to right center field. He got the ball on the inside half of the plate. It looked like, you guys probably know better than me, and to stay inside that ball and drive that thing off the scoreboard the way he did, and then the ball that he kind of dunked in there, like they all add up. That little ball that falls in makes up for some of the lineouts along the way. And he's getting better defensively. He's got a good sense of it, and I try to calm him down. Like with that game clock, he's a little more in sync maybe with the speed and the timing of how much time he has when he's playing that position. But that's him. Like he likes to play. He's very intelligent, and it's fun to see him trending in that direction right now.